Hello there, everyone. Linzi and I thought we'd bring the pals camping.
I love to go a-wandering along the mountain track. And as I go, I love to sing my knapsack on my back. Border-wee, border-a-ha, border-wee, border-a-ha, border-wee, border-a-ha, my knapsack on my back. I wave my hat to all I meet, and they wave back at me. And blackbirds sing so loud and clear from every greenwood tree. Border-wee, border-a-ha, border-wee, border-a-ha, border-wee, border-a-ha, my knapsack on my back.
Put up a tent, for example.
That's easy, Grandma. In the country, or on a campsite, or even in your own back garden. Now, you'd need a sleeping bag, of course.
Oh, of course, but what about food?
Oh, yes, food. I forgot about food. I've got these sausages that I brought back from the farm.
Oh, yes, let's cook them then, Linzi.
Okay, Grandma. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 big fat juicy sausages.
Oh, yes, 6 fat sausages frying in a pan. All of a sudden, one went bang!
Oh, Grandma, I didn't know you knew that rhyme too.
Oh, yes.
You know that rhyme. Well, why don't you pretend that your fingers are the 5 fat sausages frying in the pan?
Oh, yes, good idea. 5 fat sausages frying in a pan. All of a sudden, one went bang!
Woo!
4 fat sausages frying in a pan. All of a sudden, one went bang!
Woo!
3 fat sausages frying in a pan. All of a sudden, it went bang!
Woo!
2 fat sausages frying in the pan. All of a sudden, one went bang! 1 fat sausage frying in the pan. All of a sudden, that went bang!
And so there were no more sausages left to go bang.
Oh, dear. There we are. 6 sausages all cooked and ready to eat. Oh, dear. Now then, what time is it on the alarm clock? Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, 6 o'clock. Time to eat.
Oh, great, because I'm really hungry, Grandma.
Oh, so am I. Pass me a roll then, dear.
Here you are.
Oh, lovely. Oh, look what's in my roll. It's the letter of the day.
It's the letter C, and it makes a K sound.
Delicious. Oh, yes. Oh, and another thing we always do when we're camping is sit around the campfire and tell stories.
Oh, great, Grandma, because I know a really good story about camping, and it's called Josie's Night Out. Josie was really bored because her best friend Vicky had gone on a camping holiday in the New Forest, and she had absolutely nothing to do. Well, you can always help me clear out the garden shed, said her mum. Oh, Mum, do I have to? Groaned Josie. Oh, come on now, it won't take us long. So Josie spent the rest of the day rummaging about in the garden shed, and she found some very interesting things. A funny floppy hat, a pair of binoculars, and a very old tent. When Dad came home, he helped Josie put the tent up in the back garden. Can I sleep the night in the tent? Josie asked hopefully. Well, all right, but you'd better make sure you've got all the right things with you, laughed Dad. Josie collected together her sleeping bag, a pillow, a torch, her binoculars, a good book, and a sandwich, just in case. And she settled down in the tent in the garden. A few minutes later, Mum followed her out into the garden with her sleeping bag. Oh, isn't this a good idea? Said Mum excitedly. I used to go camping when I was a Girl Guide. It will be just like old times. Mum laid out her sleeping bag next to Josie's in the tent. Then she got in and snuggled down. Very soon she was fast asleep. Josie didn't want to go to sleep straight away because it was still quite light. So she lay in the entrance of the tent and looked around the garden. She'd never really taken a good look at the garden before, and as it got later, so the garden began to life right before her eyes. A rabbit hopped onto the lawn. Josie sat very still. She didn't want to frighten it away. It was quite small, and it had big brown eyes and long, thin ears. It nibbled at a few blades of grass before it hopped through a hole in the fence into next door's garden. Then she looked up, and to her surprise she saw an owl in the tree above the tent. It began to hoot. Just then, a fox padded silently into the garden. He paused, looked first one way, then the other, and then he padded on. Oh, I'm getting tired, said Josie as she climbed into her sleeping bag. Just as she shut her eyes, a cow on the farm down the road began mooing. It went on and on and on. Josie snuggled right down into her sleeping bag. She put her fingers in her ears, but it was no good. She could still hear the cow mooing on and on. Oh, I thought the night time was supposed to be peaceful and quiet, she grumbled. But it seems to me there's more going on out here than anyone realizes. At last, just before it began to get light again, the cow stopped mooing, and Josie dozed off. In the morning, she was fasting for breakfast to tell Dad all about her nighttime adventure. It sounds like you had a good time, said Dad. Do you think you'll be sleeping out again tonight? But Josie didn't answer. She'd fallen fast asleep on the kitchen table.
Oh, poor old Josie. She didn't get much sleep, you know.
Okay, Grandma, but I bet you haven't got any glue and paper in your rucksack.
Oh, yes, I think I have. Have a look there.
Oh, so you have, Grandma.
You see, you just have to be prepared.
Anyway, Grandma, I thought I could make a collage out of these pictures. That's all these things I've collected I can make into a picture.
Oh,
now,
yes.
I could use the twigs for a tent, and the feather for a sleeping bag.
Oh, yes.
And this little bit of twig here can be the base of the tree, and these can be the leaves, and this moss can be the grass.
My triangular earring.
So it is, Grandma.
Oh, yes. Oh, what's that, Vinnie Lou? She suggests we have a sing-song.
Great, Grandma, because I love a good song. But what shall we sing?
Oh, how about Gingang Gooley Gooley? Oh, there's lots of umpas in it, you know.
Umpas?
Oh, yes, you know, Lindsay. Umpa, 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 umpa. Oh, come on, everyone.
Umpa,
join in for the umpas.
Umpa, 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 umpa.
Gingang Gooley 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 Washy. Gingang Goo, Gingang Goo, Gingang Gooley 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 Washy. Gingang Goo, Gingang Goo. Hello, oh, hello, Sheila. Oh, hello, Sheila. Oh, Lord. Shally, wally, shally, wally, shally, wally, umpa, 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 umpa. Oh, Lindsay! Oh, Lindsay! Lindsay, dear!
Yes, Grandma?
Lindsay, I think it's time for us to say goodbye, you know. It's getting dark.
Oh, goodbye, everyone.
Oh, let's sing this song again, then. Join in, everyone. Gingang Gooley 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 Washy. Gingang Goo, Gingang Goo. Gingang Gooley 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 Washy. Gingang Goo, Gingang Goo. Hello, oh hello Sheila. Oh hello Sheila. Oh Lord. Hello, oh hello Sheila. Oh hello Sheila. Oh Lord. Shally wally, shally wally, shally wally, shally wally, umpa, 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 umpa.